Hey there. You have to forgive me, my cat is all over my desk. But today I'm going to start a new playlist here. What I'm doing is I was working on my game, Oli's Awesome Odyssey, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to get it done for Christmas, let alone New Year's. It's a much bigger scope and a lot more happening than what I think I'm going to be able to pull off in that time frame. So I'm going to take a short break. I want to get something out there. So what I've decided to do is, well, I've been reworking my tiles for one thing. I wasn't 100% happy with the terrains I had created. A lot of them I am, some of them I'm not. So what I did was I created some new terrains for a game that I'm going to be making here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the screen capture. And what you see in front of you is this is a screenshot. It's pretty hard to see. It's pretty blocky from a game back in the day on the Commodore Amiga called First Samurai. This is a screenshot from a game called Samurai Showdown. And this brings back a lot of memories. On an Apple II, it was called Karateka. And basically, these are all linear platform games where, well, sorry, this is a linear platform game where you go from left to right and you clear the levels. And each time you go through one of these Toji gates, it kind of saves for you and then you move to the next stage. Um, this one was more of a wander around the main world, and then when you run into an encounter, it goes to this combat screen. And this one was again a platformer style where you keep going straight and you hack and slash as a samurai as you go. So those are basically all what I want to try and kind of replicate, but in a basic an RPG. So a hack and slash RPG where you can pick up power ups, and it's very Asian styled, like the classic. I wanted to pay some homage, so and then that allows me to make a multi-level, multi-scene game in the timelines that I am constrained to. And here in front of you, these are the tiles that I was making. Now, before I was making absolutely seamless tiles, and the problem with that was that they, sorry, I'm just going to go file, save, file, exit. Um, the tiles, I was making them absolutely seamless. And so then I would have to do a lot of background artwork and additional stuff. So I decided today to take a different approach. And I've created these images, which, have some grass and stuff to them, but they have a close enough border. So they're not absolutely perfect. So if you were to use these in a game engine where it didn't tile blend be seen between your tiles, you would have an issue with some hard edges and some funky edges. And I was fighting to get that right with isometric angled tiles being absolutely seamless. And then I realized in RGP tools, I don't have to be absolutely seamless. It does some tile blending. So I decided, okay, well, if I make my edges clean or relatively clean and universal all the way around, then where they do blend, that will be relatively smooth, and I can have the contents of the terrain painted on and mix in between them if I stay to the same more or less color palette. So what I've done is I've made 5 grass files, and one of them here was an experiment to basically make a grass tile where I could paint a clearing circle in the middle to put like statues or power ups or pickups or whatever. I wanted to have a differentiator there, so I experimented with that. And then I wanted to do some forests, so I did 5 forests as well. And then I've done one kind of beach, desert gravel area one here to try it out to see how that worked as well. Um, I believe that as long as you've got a nice clean edge around all the sides where it can blend, um, the blend tool in RGP Tools does a great job. So I'm going to close those down, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Why is Microsoft Store open? Go away. So we're going to open the RGP Tools, and we've got a bunch of different folders and stuff, but I separated these out so that they were all here in this one folder. So what I've got is I've just got the default texture here. I'm going to zoom out, and I've put a couple things on the ground here. So what I've got is a toji gate. I've got some fencing. I've got a boat, and I've got a tree. This boat came in the Norse assets. This fence came in the with the default assets in RGP Tools. This tree I made, and this toji gate I made. So what I want to do now is I want to just paint some coast in here, and I think how I'm going to do this is I am just going to come in with this. We've got it as a 2. It's a rectangle. I'm going to go to a circle. I'll make it a 3. And I just want basically some beach here from this top corner. And then I want to come down this way. And then I'm just going to continue it out that way, and I'm going to bring it over here. And there we go. So I've got some hard beach. Now what I want to do is I want to make that beach, I think I'm going to put some rocks on there, make it kind of a cliff up so that you can't really go down to the beach much. So I'm just going to scroll down. What do I want to use here? I'm going to take some teal water here, and it's flowing up in, so that's good. So I'm just going to come this way with it, around the outside edge here. Here we go. Zoom this out a bit here. Bring some water in here. Come on. Okay, now I want to find some sea foam. Now this water and the sea foam I'm going to use are from my older kit, or sorry, from my own kit. So I think we're going to go with this one. Or do I want to go with that one? I think I want to go that one. And then what I need to do is I'm going to shrink that down to 1. And I'm just going to make that merge in there a little bit better. I don't need to get too fancy with this. Crash that against the rocks. This can crash against the rocks more or less. Good enough. Doesn't need to be perfect. Back up to the water again. Just bring that in like that. Bring that in like that. There we go. And then here. That'll do. All right, so we'll save that. So I do want to do a little bit of mud flats here, I think, and I want to put some mud here. Okay. We'll just see how that goes. A little bit of sand, a little bit of mud. That'll do. Good enough. I don't know how that's going to look, but we got her set up. So now what I need is some rock. And I'm going to go for just this one. I want some nice hard rock against this beach. And then over here, I think we'll go for some more. There we go. That'll do. And now I'm going to scroll right up. So the beach is the new tile. The surf is the one from my last tile set. I'm still going to do some work with the surf and the ocean, I think. I'm not super happy with how they actually blend. So I've got to figure that out. I'm not sure what that is all about. But now I'm ready to actually do some painting in here. So I think what I want to do is I want to start by just laying down some simple grass and stuff. So when you come off the beach, we're just going to go with some basic grass here. And it's going to just kind of be this edging. And I'm just going to keep it pretty simple here. So we got some pretty clean grass. And I'm just tracing the edge of the cliff here. I could paint this in faster with a bigger brush. But I wanted to make sure to be able to get the edge there. Now you see where this is changing a bit. There was some ground shifting there that I had done. You can actually adjust the ground a little bit. So I had actually done some of that. Just going to fill this in. All right. And now I'm just going to save it. And we'll take a quick look. So there we spawn beside the boat. There is supposed to be some music playing. So on my other computer, the playlist does play. On this computer, for whatever reason, it doesn't. And I moved the files over to the thumb drive, so I'm not sure, but we'll zoom in. If I right click, it'll shoot a fireball, and then just the default options with the example project with all the preset settings. But then you'll hear a little bit of the music play. I don't know if you heard that a little bit, but then it cuts out again. So it just plays for a little bit and then it cuts out. So that's a bug. I have told Martin about that, so I'm not sure why it doesn't do that on the other computer. And today I completely uninstalled and reinstalled this project. So I'm not sure what that's about. So I'm just going to run over here now, up the beach here. So the gravel beach looks pretty good. Oh, and now it's playing. Wait, is it going to fade out? Yeah, it fades out. So it's almost like it's in an area. If I come back up here, I bet it starts playing again. It's coming from the top corner of the map. This was an issue Martin had before and he thought he'd fixed it. Interesting. Okay, I got a little touch up to do here. And you can see that grass that I put in. And it's a nice looking grass that blends quite well. We'll come under the tree. So this tree, I set it up with a little shader. You can see it moving a little bit. And so this shader moves this cherry tree back and forth. You can see right there the clip on the offcut. I'm behind the root. Now I'm in front of the root. This is where I put the offset cut in the editor. And then there's my shadow. And you can see I've actually made the shadow so that when I go into the light, I'm in the light as well. Come up here over the roots. Now, if you wanted to get fancy, what you could do is you could cut this into two objects, and you could put the root as one layer, and then the top of the tree is another layer. Apply a shader to just the root, but you could also then adjust your offset on both of them separately and have more control over where your cutoff is so that you're behind. I have some blocking in there, so there, I went behind the tree. There is some blocking in there. And then I've got the Tanari gate down here, or the Toji gate, sorry, with my, again, my shadow on the ground. And we'll just quickly run down here. We have no blocking here yet, so yeah, that grass looks pretty good at the edge of that cliff. I might change that up to some other texture, we'll see, but that cliff looks pretty good. Works well with that grass, and there's the beach gravel below it. That works quite well. A little bit of mud coming in there, a little bit of gravel, water coming over it. Excellent. Okay, we'll exit out of there. So, now that we've got the basic grass in, we're going to play around with a few of these other textures, just to add a little bit of diversity to the map. So I'm going to go to, this was the one I used, the 1, so we're going to go to the 2. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put a couple of spots near the edging here. That's 2. Then I'm going to come over to this one here, 4. Put a little bit in there. Put a little bit down there. A little bit there. And then this one, I want to do a there we go, we got a pretty big area there. But I'm just going to put some of this in there now. Okay. And come on, a little bit more of this one in here. Perfect. A little bit more of this one here. Okay. We're going to save that. Now what I want to do is I want to put a path in. And I need to find something that's going to be a pretty good path. I could use these blights, but I think I want not sure what I want. Might just use something from PV Games. Actually, I might just use this one. See how this looks. Alright, let's just see how that looks. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a pretty good little path. It's not perfect, but it'll work for this purpose. I can always replace it later if I make a better one. And then up here you can see the where the ground merges nicely from those other textures. I got all sorts of rocks and things all over the ground, some small shrubs. And the key here is I didn't have to place them in the background layer. All I had to do here was make my terrain so that they blended nicely, and that I could get the ground working well. Come down here and see how that worked out on the cliffs, where I added them around here a little bit more. Let's see where I added here. Oh, that hump terrain, so you can see how that terrain's got some nice shape to it. Broken up. Looks pretty good. Now, just to demonstrate what a couple of these other ones look like worked in, come all the way back up here, and I'm going to put this one, I'm going to paint that ring in there so that we could put from this little path, we can put a little power up. And then I also want to print, I want to show you what some foresty bushes look like a little bit. So I think I'm going to go up here with it at the top of the screen. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that in with a little bit of this kind of transitioning to it. There we go. All right, so we'll show you how you, because I've transitioned into that's a forest scene up there. Now, I probably won't leave that there. I just wanted to show you the transition. So we'll just run over there. First thing we'll do is come down the path here. And in there, you can see how nicely that blended in to give me that little pickup power place. So you could put a statue or something in there, and you maybe smash it, and then you get a power up or something, something like that. So that worked out quite well. Now we'll zoom up here. Okay, so we're at the edge of the road. So now I'll show you how it transitions from this foresty place. Just follow it up. And then it transitions quite nicely into this other forest area, which then transitions into this other forest area with more shrubs and undergrowth stuff happening. So you can see the work that I've done so far on this new tile set in RGP Tools is working out quite well with these isometrics. So, and no need for background or objects in here. This is all just done with the tiles. So then, of course, you can place your backgrounds and tiles, and you can place other objects in the game. But this makes you able to really optimize well. So you're able to get your base ground terrain kind of all flushed out how you need it, and then you can, you know, factor in what you need on the background and what you need in the object layer in order to work better. And like I said before, I did have the Toji gate and the tree and the boat and stuff in there just to have some content in the level to work around. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this one. Shotgun Samurai. First starter screen pretty much ready to go. Probably place some more trees and things in there, but for right now, I think we're golden, and I will see you in the next one.